Brenda J. Lilly here from Creative Consultations. I just wanted to put out a small disclaimer before we launch into today's video that says I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm just here to engage, to encourage, and hopefully empower other artists to go out and live their art dream. So here we go. Enjoy the video. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Brenda J. Lilly here with Creative Consultations. I'm going to try to do this video as quickly as I possibly can. It is Monday morning, October 14th, second official week of October. Time for a new Monday morning Kickstart with Creative Consultations. All right. I will see you on the flip side. If you like this video, like it, share it with all of those who you know so the encouragement can grow, and subscribe to the channel so the channel can grow. All right. See you on the flip side. Well, here I am with my big blue cup of coffee, and it is Monday morning, so it must be time for Monday Morning Kickstart. I want to continue our conversation about choices. Last week, we got a good conversation going about some choice making, decision making, life changing stuff. But this week, I was thinking about what makes choices and decision making so difficult. And I don't think it's because it's new and different. Sure, that plays into it. Something unknown. It's a little scary, perhaps. Um, you don't know whether you're going to succeed or fail. Leaving what you know, yeah, that's difficult. But I don't think it's the thing that really holds us back. I think the thing that holds us back from making new choices for our lives is not wanting to disappoint the people who we know, we love, we work with, we respect, and they respect us. Change is hard. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Change is hard. And it's not just hard on the person making the decision to change, it's hard on everyone around the person changing. Whether we like to admit it or not, we get used to how people are. And what they bring to our lives. And so selfishly, we don't want that to change. But if we're thinking of the other person and loving them and wanting what's best for them, then unselfishly, we'll want them to make the best choice for their life. Whatever is going to make their life fly and become. Well, that's what we want for the people, or it should be what we want for the people that we love, we know, we respect, right? If we have a colleague who is just so frustrated with their life and really just doesn't feel like they fit on the team anymore, and they're struggling with why they're continuing on. And then there comes an opportunity for them to do something new and different that sort of gives them a jolt of passion and a level of excitement that you've not seen in a while. But it means that they would have to leave your team. It's not easy to say, oh, I think you should do that. It is easy to say it. It's not easy to feel it, right? And so I think the thing about choices is we have to understand that when we make choices, it affects other people, and we are affecting other people. Our decisions affect other people all the time. We see that in time and memoriam play out all day, every day. We can't say as an adult, well, I didn't realize it was going to affect you that way. Our decisions affect people. They can actually hurt people. And so we need to be, when we're in the decision choice making process, we need to be really careful about how we bring it up with people in our lives. It might be something that's super exciting for us, or really even daunting for us, and we would want to share it with people, the people that we know, we love, we respect, and we want their opinions about. But we have to realize that when we open it up to those people, they will have an opinion about it, and it might not be as passion filled and as exciting as what you think it should be. And so there can be miscommunications, and there can be hurt feelings, and that can either lead you to shut down the decision making process, or just push everybody away and go for it anyway, and in my opinion not end well. Whatever is coming to an end because you're making a new choice for your life and times, if we are not careful about how we go about that decision making process, we can leave a litter of carnage behind us, emotional carnage. And I don't think any of us want that, for real. I don't think any of us want that. No matter how horrible the situation we are in, like, leaving carnage behind is never good. I had a really humongous shifting change a few years back, and it was, the way it started was pretty horrific and horrendous for me, and I had to literally just pull myself away from uh, everything. Yeah. I just pulled myself away, and I went into what I call my prayer closet. It's not an actual closet. It's just any place that's quiet enough for me to focus down and have a good conversation with the Lord and not be interrupted. Um, and I had to go into that space in order to clear all of the baggage, right? I didn't need other people's opinions or voices at that moment. I needed my own clarity. I needed to find and to hear from, because as y'all know, I'm a Christian. And so to hear from my God what he wanted in this moment and what he wanted for me from this moment. And that was a process, and that took a few weeks, if I'm honest. It wasn't of daily, flushing out the bad and breathing in the good. It was literally, I do this practice called breathing in Jesus and breathing out peace, and I had to do a lot of that, because my peace had been robbed from me in this moment. And so I had to work diligently every single day to get it back. And in that process, I was also able to get some clarity about things. And when I went into the process of searching for what I would do from there, from that moment, I knew two things. I knew I was supposed to come back to the Netherlands, and I knew I couldn't continue to work the way I was working. But how to get back to the Netherlands if that second part was different? And so I had to get some real clarity, some real emotional strength and stability, and luckily I had had been working on myself for a year at that point. So, with therapy and just having open communication with the people in my life, and having a great upline. So a great circle of friends and encouragers, which I highly recommend for all of us. We need people. We need people in our lives, and we need wisdom people in our lives. And that's not always our contemporaries. Our contemporaries are lovely for what's happened to us so far and shared experience, but sometimes we need people who've been through it. And so I had a few of those in my life. I'm blessed indeed. But I knew that making this choice was going to disappoint um, potentially a lot of people. Coming out of my prayer closet, I also knew that I couldn't concentrate on that. I couldn't I couldn't let that affect the decision I was about to make. It did affect it in the way I went about making my choices, how I spoke about it, how I spoke about, yeah, the organization and the people I worked with. I think that that was really important. And I called it ending well. And every time there's been a big life transition for me, I've wanted to end as well as I possibly could. From the time I was about 25 on. Before that, it was a crapshoot. I can tell you I was a hot-headed person, and I didn't function in a whole lot of wisdom. And yeah, it's not easy when you have my personality structure to not just want to burn the bridge, you know. But I've discovered through my life that burning the bridges doesn't actually do anything really positive for you in the long run. It may feel good at the moment, in the moment, really satisfying to burn that bridge down. So, those people can never affect you again. But in the end, it's just a burned bridge. You've just created a pile of rubble in your life and no way to resolve anything if you ever want to resolve it. You know, sometimes the bridge has to be burned. I'm not a black and white person. Sometimes I realize we have to just completely stop, full stop. And to a certain extent, with this decision I'm talking about, I did. But I also just knew that as I was going towards this new choice and this new decision in my life, that I had to decide to be gracious. I had to decide to be loving and walk in those two things, right? Towards the people who really injured me and hurt me. That only by functioning in those two things, grace, mercy, love, so maybe three things, maybe a few more, um, would I be willing to heal fully and completely move on from it? If I held on to anything, if I allowed myself to get bitter about any of it, then I would be stuck in it. And I didn't want that. I wanted whatever was coming next to be clear of it, to rise from the ashes of it, but to rise, and allow beauty to be in there in the background of all of that. And so that was my decision. And indeed, I lost a lot of people making that choice. It wasn't easy making the choice, but I knew it was right. It was right for me. It was right for the work I do. It was right for for everything I stood for and I am, who I was created to be, yeah, it was right for her and for that. And once I made the decision, things just started falling into place, left, right, and center. And that was amazing to behold because I never experienced anything quite so. This is where you're supposed to be. This is it. This is my plan for you. I mean, doors flew open wide, and where I had been languishing through a process that I didn't even really believe in anymore. And I had been languishing in this process for like 2 years. In 4 months, once I made the new choice, I was back in the Netherlands doing what I was supposed to be doing, living the life I was created to live. It doesn't always happen that quickly, and it doesn't always happen that quote unquote easily. I'm not saying that it was easy. But when you make the right choice, when you decide to follow, it's more than an impulse. It's more than just following your heart, right? Like that's so hallmarky. But there is something about this mind heart connection when we're making decisions. When everything is lined up and you know for sure and certain this is the direction I am supposed to go, then you will be able to have a way to just talk about it with the people who you know, you love, you respect, you work with, all of those people that you are potentially going to be leaving behind making this new choice. And I'm not saying it makes it easy to leave them behind because it never does. But I'll also tell you something about making choices like that to pick up stakes and if you're moving to a new place or moving to a new job or a new industry, so you're not going to be working with the same people you've been working with, or you're not going to be in relationship with them quite so easily. Well, then, if you want to maintain a relationship with them, you have to be intentional about it. That's all. You don't have to lose people all the time. Every time you make a decision doesn't mean you're going to lose people. But it does mean if you want to keep the relationships, you have to be intentional about communicating with them. And they have to communicate back. It has to be a choice. Aha, there's another choice you make. So it's not just the decision and choice to move on, to move to the new, to pick up stakes and go, has more choices that are littered all around it. And we need to make sure that we are intentional about all of those choices. So, if you're picking up stakes and moving to a new community, you have to intentionally plug into that community to make new friends, to create new community around you, which means you have to intentionally let go of the old community in the way you knew it. But it doesn't mean you just drop kick those relationships to the curb. I mean, you've taken years probably to build those relationships. Why would you just say, not going to talk to you anymore? That's kind of silly in my mind. They do morph and change. How often you talk to each other, how often you see each other, that always shifts and changes. However, can you still maintain relationship, friendship, and community with them? Absolutely. It takes time and it takes intention. It's a choice you make. If you need to let go of people, that's also a choice you're going to need to make. I've had to make that choice too. Decision making, choice making is difficult not because of the choice itself. It's difficult because of all of the humanity that it affects around us. all of the people that we know, love, respect, and work with. It affects everyone we touch. And so that, I believe, is what makes it difficult to make new choices. But when it's what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to go, and you know it beyond a shadow of a doubt, make the choice. Be brave, be intentional, and communicate it with love, grace, mercy, respect, and honoring what it is you're leaving behind. All right, that's all I have for today. I cannot believe I made it through this entire video with two dogs who have been doing nothing but barking and challenging each other all morning. Suddenly, I started talking and they fell asleep. I hope you didn't. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, share, share, share. Let's encourage the world. All right. Have a great week, and I will see you next Monday. Hey, thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe. What are you waiting for? All right. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.